many did you have today?
3. I want 3.
Oh yeah. So you no more cramp for you.
I need 3 banana.
I need 3 banana. Oh, I'm going top 6, baby. Top 6, baby. Top 6, baby.
Allotted $200 million from the department's budget to air an ad campaign featuring her warning immigrants in the country illegally, in English, to leave now. The campaign annoyed Trump, who questioned White House staff about where the secretary found the money for the barrage of ads, according to a person familiar with the discussions. The ads rankled many inside the administration because they believed the campaign was more focused on her than the administration's message, and signaled Noam's own presidential aspirations. Since taking office, the secretary has also closely monitored how her national profile compared with other administration officials. Top of her list was Homan, Trump's border czar, with whom she has been in a battle for power and influence inside the administration. Noam routinely berated staff if she saw Homan on TV, and kept track of both their appearances to make sure she was on TV more than him, according to people familiar with the matter.
Where'd it send it? I don't have one.
She asked aides to ensure she drew a bigger crowd at a conference than Homan, who was speaking on a different day. One of the people said,
I find it annoying. I always just exit out.
If I see Homan on the TV, y'all are getting a stapler to the head.
Long story short, we have a new problem. Turns out
I thought I'd say this, but I'm tired of killing Superman. It's more fun making Superman kill Superman.
You don't belong here. I couldn't even save my wife. I don't care about your universe. You have to get Luther out of your head, Cal. The multiverse needs you. It's more about what I need.
I got this buddy, we've been friends since we were like 12, long time, played in bands together and stuff like that.
Ooh, my bad.
Together a few years ago, and so
yeah,
girlfriend of 4 years. For context, I go both ways. This guy's a straight guy.
Hello? Hello? I just got a double kill with a C4, baby. I was gonna watch Stavi, but I mean, you walked in. Oh, you walked away. Oh, you walked away. You fucker.
She was looking through our texts at one point. Nothing to hide. Phones all over the place. Totally welcome to look into it.
Nice.
Nothing going on. A little bit. And she's looking through our texts.
Talk about Neil Gaiman today because actually this was just yesterday. He put out a statement regarding some allegations that he had been hit with over the last couple of years.
Hello, I'm Neil Gaiman. I'm not creepy, I'm just creepy. Did they redesign the... Oh. I was looking at the map backwards. Oh, you better get out of here. Oh! Where'd you go? Where'd you go, Mr. Man? I tear my heart open, I sew up my butt. My weakness is that I have no butt, and it's called you remind me that the past is real. Eat shit, buddy. You're drowning in the water, and I offered you my hand. Every day I seen it, but you didn't understand. Can I be fixed time? When it's like a thing of horn if you're honky. Imagine one of those hit you. Yeah, now you're scared. When I move, you move. Just like that, when I move, you move. Bomboclad. Uh-oh. That looked like a poison. Was that a poison? Top 6, baby. Top 6. Top 6. Women. Women. Oh! That was awkward. Uh-oh. It's a good plan. Those drones just need to last longer. You obsessed. You obsessed with me. many times can I come back? Don't call it a comeback. Oh, fuck a whore. That game is hard. Do you just come back once? How many times can you come back in Resurgence solo? The first 9 minutes and 15 seconds? What the fuck is that?
And it's terrible. It's actually quite unhinged and seems to reinforce what is my biggest pet peeve when people talk about allegations or try to disprove them. So if you don't know who Neil Gaiman is, if you don't know what he was accused of, this is not a deep dive. I'll just give you a recap of what's going on before we get into the statement. Neil Gaiman is a writer. He's been kicking for a while, currently 65. I would say my entry point into the Gaiman-verse was Coraline, the film. Amazing film based off of his writing. He just has so much cultural relevance, honestly, and has for a long time. Good Omens, man, this literally has some of the most devoted fans I have ever seen on the internet. This was co-written with the late Terry Pratchett, and then also I remember The Sandman as well. I never watched this, so I can't actually speak to that, but people love not just his work, but a lot of the themes in there as well. But unfortunately, in 2024, at least 2 women came forward with allegations against him. Now, this is a part where it's gonna start getting really rapid fire with the dates. In 2024, according to this Rolling Stone article, 2 women came forward with allegations against him of sexual abuse, saying it was rough and degrading, and saying that it was, quote, not always consensual. One of these people worked as a nanny for him. This person filed a complaint in 2022. For years, there have been complaints. It's not just one person, okay? That is the main thing that really struck me about all of this. Then, the next year, more women accused author Neil Gaiman of sexual assault. It said 8 of Gaiman's accusers spoke for a story that was released in New York Magazine, and you have it right here. Someone in chat right now says the details were genuinely harrowing. They absolutely were. Here's as much as I'm kind of willing to really get into in this video. It says right here, Gaiman offered her the chance to take a bath in a tub in the garden. She did, and was surprised when Gaiman came back naked and allegedly got into the tub with her and asked her to sit on his lap. And then from there, it just goes into further and further detail about how she claims he was assaulting her in this tub. This is just one incident that she describes. It is all so creepy and disturbing. And again, these are multiple people coming forward about this. There was also claims of trafficking against Neil Gaiman's estranged wife, but Gaiman obviously broke the silence after this article was going viral, because this is how I found out about it. I remember everyone talking about this, and so at the beginning of 2025, Neil Gaiman releases his statement breaking the silence, and he doesn't really say much, but he says, I've watched the stories circulating the internet about me with horror and dismay. I've stayed quiet until now, both out of respect for the people who were sharing their stories and out of a desire not to draw more attention to misinformation. I've always tried to be a private person. So this statement essentially is him saying some of what the women said is true. However, none of the parts where they said things were non-consensual are true. All of that was false. He says, I've never engaged in a non-consensual sexual activity with anyone. He's also claiming that there's messages that he received saying essentially that things were consensual, etc. He says, I was obviously careless with people's hearts and feelings. I was caught up in my own story and ignored other people. But he's learning. He's trying to do the work needed. And then he just kind of ends it by saying, to repeat, I've never engaged in non-consensual sexual activity with anybody. Some things that they're saying never happened, others have been so distorted, etc. I'm prepared to take responsibility for my actual mistakes. Honestly, this phrasing of I didn't say anything out of respect for the people who were sharing their stories, I call foul on this part for sure, because as you're going to see, there was very, very, very little of that, unfortunately. The next thing I want to point out is, as for the claims that his estranged wife was trafficking, one of the women claimed that she was trafficked into Neil's clutches, essentially. She didn't have much to say about that, other than she claimed privacy as well. I must protect my young child and his right to privacy. I will not respond to the specific allegations being made against me, except to say that I deny the allegations and will respond in due course. My heart goes out to all survivors. So one of the accusers sues him. NPR, February 2025. Neil Gaiman's former nanny files rape and human trafficking lawsuit. At this point, Neil Gaiman's reputation was just in complete shambles. Obviously, I wouldn't imagine wanting to associate with this. However, again, he was still denying everything. But the lawsuit in question, I can't go through all of this on stream. I don't want to, but it's like the claim arises out of Neil Gaiman's sexual abuse of the plaintiff and his wife's role in procuring and presenting the plaintiff to Gaiman for such abuse. They give a trigger warning right here for sexual assault and abuse, and yeah, it's just awful stuff. Neil Gaiman, this is the part where I was like, okay, really? Neil Gaiman seeks $500,000 from one of his accusers. I, the rich person in this scenario, am going to sue you. So what he's alleging here, he paid her $275,000 to sign a non-disclosure agreement. And I'm like, why did you pay somebody $275,000 to sign an NDA? But in violating that, Gaiman is demanding all of that money back because this person went to the media, and he said he also wants his attorney's fees covered and $50,000 for each interview she's given to the media. What kind of response is this? This is disgusting. Someone said NDAs don't cover crimes. Exactly. There is absolutely no agreement that somebody could make you sign, pay you to sign, that takes away your ability to come forward if a crime was committed. This is just ridiculous behavior. And then also, a lot of people were being like, well, she sued him first, right? This is what people are really saying. Initially, she had accused him of breaching his end of the NDA because she said that his lawyer held on to videos, photos, and text messages that she had sent him, and the NDA said that Gaiman would destroy those materials. She's saying that did not happen. Anyways, what happens now is that one of the lawsuits, this is a different person. This lawsuit was dismissed against Neil Gaiman because the judge said this occurred in New Zealand, not Wisconsin, where the suit was brought forward. And, you know, everybody was a New Zealand resident at that time. You should go try it in New Zealand, etc. You saw people online being like, wasn't dismissed with prejudice. This is the part where I'm not a lawyer, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. The fact that it was dismissed without prejudice means she could just reopen this. I really tried to look into that to make sure I was correct about this. This says absolutely nothing about the validity of the claim. It says right here, if the person in question sues Gaiman in New Zealand and he refuses to accept service there, she may move to reopen the case. It's noted that the judge did not rule on the facts of the case. So don't let anybody tell you that this has been arbitrated in any sort of way, dismissed, etc. That's not true. That's not what happened. Anyways, the backlash against him, as I said, was swift. All of Neil Gaiman's halted or canceled projects, The Sandman, unfortunately, Coraline, comics, Good Omens Season 3, Dead Boy Detectives, etc. Now, not all of this had to do with the allegations per se, but a lot of things just stopped moving forward because of this. Now, what I wanted to point out though, I see this scenario play out again and again where somebody gets accused of things, and what usually happens is that person's fans will stick behind them. It is absolutely ridiculous how vocal I have seen so many fan bases get in their defense of people who are accused of committing the most heinous things, or sometimes absolutely have committed the most heinous things on video, etc. But Neil Gaiman actually pretty much lost the vast majority of his fan base, from what I saw. I remember it happening in real time. I was in the fan base of some of the things he created. I definitely was in no rush to defend him. Many people were just like, well, I'm pretty much over this. And that's because his image seemed to be so against this. Here he is in 2018. This is literally just one example of things that made it seem like Neil Gaiman would never be in this scenario. Tweeting, on a day like today, it's worth saying, I believe survivors. Men must not close our eyes and minds to what happens to women in this world. We must fight alongside them for them to be believed at the ballot box and with art by listening and change this world for the better. There was a lot of this chat, quite a bit of this, which is why I think in addition to this just being horrible news, people felt like it came completely out of left field. Someone said wasn't Gaiman a Tumblr celebrity. He had a really dedicated fan base of people who felt like they really rocked with the morals and themes that he was putting out and stuff like that. But this doesn't apply, obviously. Okay, so I may have definitely missed a date or two in my attempt to piece this all back together, but that's essentially what happened. Now, imagine how tired I was yesterday seeing Neil Gaiman all over the news for author Neil Gaiman calls allegations a smear campaign. So you have all of these articles. He is loud right now. NME, The Guardian, Rolling Stone. This is big news of his statement where he says, you know, this was all garbage. Well, hey, I don't want to put words in his mouth. Let's see what he actually had to say. It's been a while since I posted anything anywhere, but I didn't want to let any more time go by without thanking everyone for all your kind messages of support, etc. I've learned firsthand how effective a smear campaign can be, so to be clear, the allegations against me are completely and simply untrue. There are emails, messages, and video evidence that flatly contradict them. Look, this is nasty. These allegations, especially the really salacious ones, have been spread and amplified by people who seemed a lot more interested in outrage and getting clicks on headlines rather than whether things had actually happened or not. Forget the idea of whether this happened or not. To imply that the main reason people were talking about this is it was just some form of outrage farming, and not that it's disgusting to have multiple women come forward and accuse you of assault. It's completely lost the plot. Essentially, he would also be talking about me, I suppose, because here I am talking about this. This is not coming from... Actually, it is. I am outraged. People were disturbed, disgusted by these claims. Anyways, he says, one thing that's kept me going through all this madness is the conviction that the truth would eventually come out. I expected that when the allegations were first made, there would be journalism, and that the journalisms would take the mountains of evidence into account, and was astonished to see how much of the reporting was simply an echo chamber, and how the actual evidence was dismissed or ignored. Okay, I was a journalist once. I have enormous respect for journalists. So, I've been hugely heartened by the meticulous fact and evidence-based investigative writing of one particular journalist, whom some of you recently brought to my attention, who writes under the name of Technopathology. I was like, is he really about to shout out one of those obsessed accounts that just goes bit by bit and tries to collect every single bit? I was like, that can't be what this is. I just jumped to a conclusion. Let me finish this. I've had no contact with Technopathology, but I'd like to thank them personally for actually looking at the evidence and reporting what they found, which is not what anyone else had done. If you're curious about what they've uncovered so far, the clickable link in my bio takes you to really good investigative reporting. Anyways, this is going to surprise some of you. And by surprise, I mean it's not going to surprise any of you. It's been a strange, turbulent, and occasionally nightmarish year and a half, but I took my own advice. When things get tough, make good art. And once I was done with making television, I went back to doing something else I love even more, writing. Oh, so you have a new book to sell us, and this is why you have to come forward and say, oh, this was a smear campaign, and if you don't believe me, check this one unhinged internet account. Okay. I thought it was going to be a fairly short project when I began it, but it's looking like it's going to be the biggest thing I've done since American Gods. It's already much longer than the ocean at the end of the lane, and it's barely finished wiping its boots and hanging up its coat. And I spend half of every month being a full-time dad, and that remains the best bit of my life. Okay, I don't want to get hung up on the phrasing. I know what he means by I spend half of every month being a full-time dad. But I'm like, isn't that just called you have children? I'm sorry. I know what he means, but I'm like, brother, that's just called being a father, if you ask me. It's a rough time for the world. I look at what's happening on the home front and internationally, and I worry. And I am still convinced there are more good people out there than the other kind. Thank you again to so many of you for your belief in my innocence and your support for my work. It has meant the world to me. Neil. Obviously, my next thought was, I wanted to know, what is this Technopathology person? What have they been doing? Lo and behold, they have this project called Neil Gaiman is Innocent. And actually, you'll notice right here, he uses the same language. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong thingy. Oh, I liked it! No! Neil, if you're watching this, I did not like your post. If you were on your phone and you were like, oh, D'Angelo has liked your... No, he did not! No, he did not. Oh my god, I wish I could just... I'm finna DM this man and be like, you might have seen a notification. No, you didn't. Swipe away. He doesn't have notifications on. Sorry, that made me feel... Anyways, look, this is actually important. He says, thank you again to so many of you for your belief in my innocence and your support for my work. this whole technopathology thing is like Neil Gaiman is innocent, Neil Gaiman is innocent, Neil Gaiman is innocent. I don't think you should have a belief that Neil Gaiman is innocent, period. You don't have a way of knowing that. If you actually believe that, it would be based off of your opinion of his work. You know what I mean? I think framing this as thank you for not believing these accusers or these survivors, these people who have come forward, that strikes me as very odd. Why are we running pages talking about Neil is innocent? We can prove it. We can prove it. You don't know that. That's what bothers me so much about people who get accused of things and have large platforms, etc. This rampage we go on to prove that actually it's not that big of a deal. People are also like innocent until proven guilty. That's for the courts. Innocent until proven guilty doesn't mean that anytime somebody says you did something, no you didn't, unless they can prove it. Thank you for believing in my innocence is just very strange when he knows that his fans don't know the truth about what happened. Anyways, I started poking around this website and I might have actually incurred psychic damage here. I'm just gonna do a little bit of a scroll, okay? Scrolling. It's just post after post after post after post about Neil Gaiman being innocent. Oh, here we can prove he's innocent because of this. It's like, I'm not even going to like click into some of these articles because they're going into way too much detail about the actual accusers. I don't think blowing them up like this makes any sense when they are already trying to work this out in court. But this person has gone through and picked every single person, but like, oh, we're going to prove this. Even if you're trying to prove honestly that every single person who accused him is Satan, that still would have nothing to do with their right to come forward if something awful has happened. The fact that you would even be comfortable, I guess, redirecting people to a website like this is so odd to me. They have a TLDR for their entire website where they just go bit by bit and give all of these like short form answers. Well, number one, did Neil Gaiman sexually assault someone? Answer. Well, the main accuser is on record effusively stating that her sexual relationship with Gaiman was entirely consensual. 2. So why these accusations? Well, later someone persuaded her to go to the police and pursue a court case. The existence of this page doesn't surprise me. People are like this when it comes to anybody making any sort of allegations. It never goes well, unfortunately, for people who come forward. But having the signal boosted by the accused is unhinged. You are on main redirecting people to this point-by-point breakdown website. Did they traffic her? No. She came to the island voluntarily. Someone said, stop, this can't be real. I believe it's still in his bio. Hold on. It's still in his bio, y'all. This is strange. Here, I'll give you an example of one where I was just like, this absolutely cannot be real. Neil Gaiman is innocent. The accusers are, quote, poor-mouthing. Claims of economic dependence significantly shape how we see these accusations. Because as I said, one of the accusers was his nanny, was somebody who was dependent on him financially, which adds a whole nother level of ick to this. And this person's like, their status of being financially dependent is a way to dismiss the consistent evidence of consent. They had no real choice. One problem, they aren't poor. And so in this article, they start being like, actually, this person had this much money, so what she was saying was false. And they do this for every single point that people are using to talk about these accusers. This is not something I would typically draw attention to because it's just a random Substack that anybody could be running, but to have it signal boosted on this level, unfortunately, every single news article that I saw, I clicked into multiple of these, included the part about his statement where he was like, go check this weird blog for more information. That does pretty much put this among the worst responses to accusations I've ever seen. You have these WhatsApp messages that I'm not going to go through all the way, and they're claiming essentially that everybody consented to everything. Now, just because you got WhatsApp messages of people consenting to things, I said this point verbatim in my last stream, didn't I? Just because you have gotten some sort of recorded consent or whatever doesn't absolve you from any and everything. It's not just a full pass to do whatever you want to people and have it never be described as unconsensual. But some of the stuff in here I actually found really odd, really disturbing. On page 14, the green bubbles are Neil. I really want to know how you thought this was going to make anything look better for you. Honestly, when Amanda, the estranged wife in question, told me you were telling people I'd raped you and were planning to Me Too me, I wanted to kill myself, but I'm getting through it a day at a time. and it's been 2 weeks now, and I'm still here. She said you were telling lots of people about you and me, saying it was not consensual, and you were thinking of me tooing me, etc., etc. It was very unstabilizing. I spent a week actively not killing myself, if you see what I mean. She told me not to text you as it would only make it worse, etc., etc., etc. She called my agent and told her about you and called my kids and friends and warned them I might be suicidal. I'm so glad you messaged me. I thought you were a monster. You actually shared this publicly. You can say what you will about what he did or did not do. This guy does not actually have a grip on normal ways of interacting with people in relationships. I'll tell you that right now. This more so seems like something that would get leaked from the other side. But yeah, if we have any sort of diehard Neil Gaiman fans, they're going to be in here talking about, oh my god, you're cherry picking messages. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I believe it's incredibly strange to have conversations where like, oh, you told people that I did this to you? Well, I'm essentially going to kill myself. Or I was going to kill myself because I thought you were saying that. I already know, unfortunately, that this video is going to be a hotbed for comments saying, like, I have presented you a very biased view. I didn't do my research. I can't make it any clearer. I have no desire to fall down this rabbit hole. I'm just here to say, it is wrong to take accusers and start going point by point and trying to discredit them every single way. It's wrong to be the accused and a famous person and to signal boosting a website like this into news articles, because that is an example of power that Neil Gaiman has that these people don't have. Nobody who accused him, besides these initial claims, has the power to immediately get back in the news. I'm also not making a video telling you, oh, I know that this happened. I don't. I'm just telling you, this is an example of a horrible, horrible response. I encourage you, if this is something that you...
Does Coke really taste better from the tap? Let's talk about it.
Good biblical morning.
There's one character in the show that rings like uncanny valley alarm bells because it's unnatural.
I'm actually from a vault.
Whoa, what the heck? This is the cartoony vibe I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's really weird looking.
It's bizarre, right?
They can't be just taking an eye from one side because our eyes aren't symmetrical.
It is a CGI.
CGI,
But
wow.
for this specifically, they just gave him some tracking dots on his face, and
yeah, totally, yeah.
probably what's happening is that it's a full face replacement, but in compositing, they're only using this part.
I would say the skin shading, though, is very good. Like, it matches very close to where, again, I thought it was prosthetics without question.
From a technical point of view, this is a perfect shot. So it is photoreal, animated perfectly.
Yeah, this very much leans into, like, the campy, cartoony vibe of the show, which I really, really like.
There's one character in the show that rings like uncanny valley alarm bells because it's unnatural.
I'm actually from a vault.
Whoa, what the heck? This is the cartoony vibe I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's really weird looking.
It's bizarre, right?
They can't be just taking an eye from one side because our eyes aren't symmetrical.
It is a CGI.
CGI,
But
wow.
for this specifically, they just gave him some tracking dots on his face, and
yeah, totally, yeah.
probably what's happening is that it's a full face replacement, but in compositing, they're only using this part.
I would say the skin shading, though, is very good. Like, it matches very close to where, again, I thought it was prosthetics without question.
From a technical point of view, this is a perfect shot. So it is photoreal, animated perfectly.
Yeah, this very much leans into, like, the campy, cartoony vibe of the show, which I really, really like.
There's one character in the show that rings like uncanny valley alarm bells because it's unnatural.
I'm actually from a vault.
Whoa, what the heck? This is the cartoony vibe I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Y'all are getting a stapler to the head. So make sure I don't see him on TV. I know it's completely out of your control how much Tom Homan appears on television, but you're gonna get it if I see him on the TV, especially if he's on there on a show that I should be on. Because I'm a star. I'm gonna be the next president. That's the funniest part. Bitch, you are never gonna be fucking president.
I'm sorry.
No shot.
Not gonna happen. Once again, you can at least take comfort knowing that all these people absolutely fucking hate each other. And because they take zero responsibility for their failures, they also hate everyone working under them. For months, Noam and Lewandowski had demanded that ICE capture its arrest on video for social media. The more dramatic, the better. But more than a week after Preddy's shooting, Noam and Lewandowski berated Todd Lyons, the acting ICE director, for videos that emerged in Minnesota showing federal officers continuing to tangle with protesters. According to people familiar with the conversation, the president hated the continued stream of videos, they told Lyons, whom they pinned the blame on. They demanded that he draw up a new plan for ICE to carry out targeted enforcement, an approach Lyons had been advocating all along, according to ICE officials, but that the pair had previously eschewed.
Get more footage. Why so much footage?
This is...
All of DHS and ICE seems to be...
An out-of-state bowler brought up this vintage ebonite wolf ball to be redone. He said he knew the yellowing couldn't be fixed, but still wanted the cover cleaned up. So I told him this.
We've talked in the past about these virtual actors.
You grew up where being gay, saying being from this block is not cool. I grew up where my best friends are Asian, white, and fat, and black, and gay, and have no arms, and we don't give a because we're just cool. So it's just a different time. So you grew up where being gay, saying at first it doesn't look like.
If I said "Uno zabave kriyu tofife," what are the emotions that?
Why do you know that?
Well, you posted on Instagram a couple of years ago. That was your first ever acting gig. You were 8 years old in the toffee fake.
Oh, that made me feel so warm inside. I also, by the way, love toffee bay. Don't tell me. Oh my god.
I have never had a toffee bay, so
You've never had one?
Never. You were. This is also. I went into a pharmacy. It's the only place where I could find it in LA.
Yeah.
These are old and dusty, so I can't speak.
They are quite old and dusty, but I think they get better with age.
They're harder than I thought.
They're not supposed to be that hard, and I didn't actually know it was Croatian.
Google Translate told me I do not speak Croatian.
Is toffee fake Croatian or German? It's not Croatian. Where the hell did you hear that? You're wrong, mythical man.
You know you love me, I know you care. You know you love me.
Stand for greatest of all time-ish. So,
I did not realize how bad the iPad kid epidemic was until yesterday.
Yeah, I just subbed a 5th grade class, and there's someone with a lot of experience in the classroom and a lot of experience in waiting. I just want you to know we should be really afraid about the future of our society.
A heads up for parents. Kids are falling farther behind on test scores, and more kids are failing to show up for school, according to figures out this morning. We have no teachers at our schools. Can you believe that?
The Educators are a suite of AI-powered apps that gamify lessons, monitor progress.
So it's the middle of the school year, and we are again seeing a trend in teachers quitting their jobs mid-year. And I can't blame them. Teachers are some of the most overworked, underpaid, and burnt-out professionals out there. And I definitely know that I'm not the only person that's genuinely concerned for this next generation of children who are being raised on technology, 10-second TikTok videos, iPads, Coco Melon, AI-generated slop content, we are just now witnessing the consequences of raising an entire generation on iPads and social media, and it is not looking good. Today, we are going to be talking about a myriad of things, the effect of technology on children's development, how it's affecting their performance in the classroom, why teachers are throwing in the towel and completely leaving a career they once loved, the very real fact that the government is defunding public education and trying to push parents to homeschool their kids, and the fact that we are seeing the concerning trend that test scores in math and reading are dropping across all grade levels.
I did not realize how bad the iPad kid epidemic was until yesterday. We've all heard of the issues with these kids that are being raised on iPads and the parents blaming teachers and not being hands-on in their academics. But when I tell you I was absolutely flabbergasted at the interaction that I had with a child yesterday, I just have no words for it. I'm a bartender at a resort, and this family came up to the bar to order their food. One of the kids, who's about 8 or 9 years old, asked what flavor of Dippin' Dots we had, so I handed her a menu. This way she could read the flavors, and I was going to continue helping the rest of the party. When I tell you that I handed her the menu, and she looks at me dead in the eyes and goes, I can't read. I was left absolutely speechless for a few seconds. You're going to tell me around 2nd, 3rd grade she can't read? I truthfully did not believe what I was hearing, and that's just frightening.
Someone commented, teachers are screaming this from the rooftops and nobody is listening. Subbed for a class of 2nd graders, majority didn't know how to read. One little girl said, I don't read, I just play YouTube on my iPad when I asked if she read at home. Kids can't tell time either, unless it's digital.
Kids are always asking me, what time is it? These are middle schoolers and high schoolers, and there's a clock in the room, but they don't know how to read it. Like, what?
So just in case you missed that, these middle schoolers and high schoolers don't know how to read an analog clock. Let that sink in. Someone commented, so teach them? And someone else responded, they were supposed to learn this in elementary school. They didn't stop teaching it either. My 2nd grader brought this home today. And it's a worksheet, it's a picture of a clock showing 7:30, and the student has to write what time it is. So to reiterate, they're still teaching it, but these kids aren't learning it, or rather, they don't want to learn it because their iPad will tell them the time instead.
These brain rot phrases are driving me insane. Skibbity riz, skibbity toilet, whatever they be talking about, I don't know. It's annoying, and they literally do it all day long. If I hear 6, 7 one more time, I'm going to scream. I really want to cuss. Can I cuss? I don't know what's with the touching. Like, they cannot stop touching each other. Hugging and hitting and, like, just constantly putting their hands on each other. And they be digging in their nose. I can't take it. And this is 4th grade. They're doing this. They cannot stand the idea of silence. They're humming, they are drumming, they are tapping, they are making noises aloud. They cannot stand silence. That wasn't me. No, I wasn't. No, I didn't. And I'm looking right at you. Ma'am, sir, I saw you. I watched you before I told you to stop. The gaslighting is ridiculous. Why do you have out scissors and glue and we're doing a math lesson that has nothing to do with you cutting or gluing anything down? You would really think that these kids are driven by motor. Like, the lack of self-control is at an all-time high. There is no way that my entire class has ADHD, and if that's the case, somebody need to get together and do some real serious studying, because something ain't right. But I love my job. I love teaching. I love working with kids. I enjoy what I do. I really and truly do. But like I said, these kids, they don't make it easy. They making us work for that little chick. And I do mean little.
So I felt like a boomer when I looked up a lot of this brain rot content kids are consuming. I don't have any young kids in my family, so I didn't know the slang and kind of the things that were popular on social media with them. And I've heard about Skibbity, and I still don't really understand what it is, but I did come across some very concerning things that kids are consuming online.
I'm going to show you how Ballerina Cappuccino took me from Bluey to an AI video that depicts the worst thing I can imagine on a kid's feed, and somehow I'm still shocked despite this being day 10 of these tests. Like always, I wiped this iPad. It's my 3rd time doing it, and I created a YouTube account and trained it on kids videos. So I use the regular YouTube app, not the YouTube Kids app, because regular YouTube is 15 times more popular for kids. And when I would go back and forth between short and long form videos, the shorts were fine. I was getting mainstream arts and crafts videos with no harmful AI videos. Then I searched for Ballerina Cappuccino, and that was all it took. If you don't know about Italian brain rot, it's very popular for kids. And after just watching 3 of those shorts, I went back to the homepage, and the first video was fine, but then the second video was a cat video instantly. I literally cannot tell you or show you what's in this video. I'll show little snippets that are not the graphic part, but there is a scene depicting the worst type of act towards a woman. Yeah, it's really bad, and it's wrapped in this sort of AI cat package. And from here on out,
did they get rid of the secret tunnel?
were noticeably worse than
What the
before I
fuck?
had searched for anything brain rot related. I try to focus on algorithms and AI videos. I stay away from parenting advice because I don't have kids, but I could not help but think about those Italian brain rot toys and how cultivating a kid's interest in this is a Trojan horse for other more harmful AI videos because the YouTube algorithm doesn't know the difference.
This is ElsaGate all over again, but with the method of content creation with unlimited capacity. Terrifying. People saying we, millennials and Gen Z, had our own version of brain rot, but this is just so much worse than those. Human development doctor here, do not let your kids on your phone or internet. Unmoderated iPad time for kids is straight up neglect. The fact that it was AI essay so quickly is chilling. The internet is not for kids, and I will die on that hill. So naturally, I went down a rabbit hole and started looking into this Italian brain rot AI content, and it was very concerning what was showing up on the screen. I was seeing violent acts towards women, content that is way too mature for any child, and even weapons featured in these videos. It was disgusting. What's even more sinister and makes there are adults out there that are creating this content for kids to consume. And I hesitate to give out parenting advice. Have a child, what is the reason that they need to have a smartphone, especially at such a young age, or an iPad? And if they do, please make sure you have parental controls and safeguards in place. Even that isn't foolproof. Kids know how to get around that too. But monitor them, because just like that guy in that clip showed, even with the completely wiped iPad, as soon as he typed in one brain rot phrase, the content got very dark, very mature, not okay for children's eyes, and all it took was that one search to take him down a dark rabbit hole of content that kids should not be watching.
Yeah, I just subbed a 5th grade class, and as someone with a lot of experience in the classroom and a lot of experience in reading, I just want you to know we should be really afraid about the future of our society. Do you know that every single kid thinks they're going to be a content creator, and when you ask them what their hobbies are, it's all video game and addictive things that they think are hobbies. Hobbies are not that. Hobbies are not addictive things. Hobbies are the things that brought you joy before you were 5 or 6 years old. So maybe it was soccer, maybe it was animals, maybe it was going outside, but these kids don't know those things about themselves. Quite frankly, I don't even think they know when they have to go to the bathroom. I don't even think they know when they're hungry. They just want to get back onto their devices ASAP. And I'm not blaming their parents. I mean, as a society...
And I'm just going to come out and say it, I do blame the parents, at least partially. There are things I do understand that are not within parents' control, such as technology and how much that's advanced over the years, and public schools getting defunded, right? There are things that are not in their control, but there are also things that are in their control, such as reading to their kids, teaching them right from wrong, spending time with them and actually talking to them, not just sitting and staring at your phone while you're in your child's presence. There are so many things parents can do to raise healthy, stable kids that will flourish in society.
As a society, I think we should have had better parameters and better education about this 15 years ago, but we didn't, and here we are. So here's what you need to do. You need to set parameters with your child today. This is life or death. What job do you think they're going to get if they can't put their phone down for 5 minutes? What job do you think they're going to get if they can't even write their name legibly? What job do you think they're going to get if they can't spell the word caring and they're 11 years old? Not everyone's going to be a content creator. Not everyone is going to make it and get advertising.
Just the fact that they all want to be content creators is already concerning in and of itself. Of course, when all you do is scroll on your phone all day, when the only example of someone who is successful and wealthy is an influencer, that's who they're going to want to aspire to be. And then they have no other marketable skills in the workforce because they didn't pay attention in school and all they did was scroll on their phone. And for a society to thrive and be successful, we have to have all lawyers, we need to have people in varying professions.
Here's what your kids need. They need communication skills. They need to be able to listen to their own body. They need to be able to go to bed on time, which nobody is doing. This is the most sleep-deprived, emotional intelligence-deprived, affection-deprived generation ever. Wake up and really care, please, because it is not fair to them. Do you know how many board games I own now? Trying to reconquer my children's childhood? I'm telling you, the time is now. And honestly, really? You didn't know that 11-year-olds are now over-schmexualized more than any other generation? They are. Okay, I've been offended and grossed out by children more in the last 2 years than the previous 15 years combined.
Jesus.
It's terrifying. They know too much, they're exposed to too much, and if you don't want a government that makes the government control your children's phone, then you do it. You should really care, because those things on the phones are addictive. All of it's addictive.
I am a first-year high school English teacher. This is definitely going to be my first and last year teaching. I was made very quickly aware of the fact that this is not the profession for me. It is absolutely astonishing and scary how your kids are 14, 15 years old and still do not have the proper reading skills. And I'm not talking about the ESC kids, the 504s, the IEP kids. I'm talking about your everyday regular Joe Schmo from Kokomo kid who does not know how to read and write at the level that they should. And the problem is that they don't care to learn how to do those things correctly.
And I have a comment here from one of you guys from a previous video that says, I had a 10-year-old neighbor kid ask me what a yard sale sign said. I was reading Harry Potter when I was 10. And I think the fact that a lot of kids can't read is the most genuinely concerning part of all of this. Obviously, the fact that they have unlimited access to the internet and are on social media at way too early of an age is scary as well. But if kids can't read, how are you going to survive in the world as an adult? How are you going to read articles, get employment, understand the world around you? It is just absolutely mind-blowing and makes me so nervous for what we are going to see with these kids when they grow up in the next 20, 30 years. I feel like a boomer, but I really don't know if there's hope for this next generation. How do you come back from that? I don't think there's a way back if a 10-year-old can't even read the words yard sale.
I have a sister that was born in 2012, which, by the way, didn't know that was possible. Thought 2012 was for Coney, but she's a generation after Gen Z. They're called Generation Alpha. I don't like the tone of that. And I was trying to connect with her. I was like, so girl, like, what's cool on the Disney Channel these days? She looks me dead in the eye and goes, I don't watch plot-based media.
Oh. Someone commented, plot-based media is literally how children learn empathy. Kids are genuinely not engaged in storytelling anymore, which is about as horrifying as it sounds. One of the oldest human creative pursuits, and kids are just not doing it. I'm scared of Gen Alpha, and not in a good, funny way. I am genuinely worried for whatever comes to and from them for the next couple decades. As if plot-based media was a trend and not a crucial and enduring social tool that we developed tens of thousands of years ago. This is actually the problem. They're not watching content produced by people who know how to read and write. The little girl literally looks at her and essentially says, I'm too old and too good to watch all that crap on PBS Kids and Disney Channel. I just scroll on TikTok. According to Aspire Early Education, storytelling plays a vital role by promoting creativity, enhancing language development, and building emotional intelligence in young children. Through stories, children are introduced to new vocabulary, different perspectives, and important life lessons. Stories, even ones for children, often involve characters facing challenges, making choices, and experiencing different emotions. This offers children the opportunity to empathize with these fictional characters and share another's perspective. This helps nurture their emotional intelligence, enabling them to navigate their own feelings from a young age. So this little girl, who apparently doesn't watch plot-based media, is missing out on a very important child development tool, which is
I'm Michael Myers now. No, I'm Michael Myers. No, no. Yeah, I'm Michael Myers. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Now you're gonna die. Oh. Oh, it was a lot more dramatic on my screen.
He used to be the funniest little kid, and he became.
Uh-oh. They gave me a shotgun. They gave me a shotgun. No!
At all. They're not putting themselves in the shoes of fictional characters, following them throughout their story, throughout their lives. They're not seeing how these characters' actions affect the people around them. They're not seeing these characters go through trials and tribulations. And they're not experiencing these emotions that these characters feel throughout different points in their life when something good or something bad happens to them. At surface level, programs and books for kids can just look like entertainment, but it's actually teaching them vitally important life skills. Stories also encourage problem solving. They frequently portray characters facing challenges that requires them to overcome obstacles or solve problems. By engaging with these stories, children develop critical and creative thinking skills as they navigate how the characters can solve these problems. This process helps develop their own problem-solving skills and how different decisions can affect the outcome of the plot. And we can only predict that this is going to get worse as generative AI is taking over with ChatGPT and Claude and all the chatbots and encouraging kids to not think for themselves and just have the AI spit out the answers for them. And surprise, surprise, student test scores are also dropping in almost all subjects across the board, and they are absent from school more than they have been in years past. A heads
good news. The National Assessment of Education Progress shows 4th and 8th grade students are faring even worse in math and reading than in recent years.
It's a call to action for parents and families to hold our districts and our school systems accountable for making sure that we get our kids back on track.
Compared to 2019, average reading scores are down 5 points. And in math, 4th graders are down 3%. 8th graders sliding 8%.
I don't think this is a season of us giving up hope. It's a season of us coming together in community, in our learning communities, to make sure that our students are making progress.
Experts say the results show reading is a greater challenge than math. The score declines appear to be driven by lower performing students falling farther behind, while top performing students are showing some recovery since the pandemic. The message to parents: get involved.
Trust your gut. Ask for more information. And if you need to seek outside help, do it immediately.
One big issue, students not showing up for class. 12% of 8th graders missed at least 5 days of school per month.
Across every measure we have, the more kids use tech at school, the more their learning goes down. Our children are the first generation in the last century to be cognitively worse than we are. And that's just a nice way of saying dumber than we are. On every single cognitive measure, they perform worse than we do. Attention, memory, memory span, creative thinking, divergent thinking, critical thinking, they're lower across the general IQ. Now, this is fine. If generations were always up and down, you'd say, cool, things come and go. But we've been on a steady increase for over 100 years. Every generation outperforms their parents, and that's what we want. Every generation wants their kids to be healthier, happier, smarter than they are.
Yeah.
We're the first generation in history where that trend is now reversed.
Someone commented, having worked in a technology-free residential alternative education program for nearly 10 years, I 100% agree and will forever advocate for removing cell phones and personal computers and tablets from schools. There was an astronomical difference in social skills, emotional regulation, and test scores after being without tech for 6 months. Let's not get started on how the adjustment period went for these students. The first month of no technology was like watching an addict eat off. It's ruined Gen Z and is presently destroying Gen Alpha. And something else that I found interesting,
Come here.
but not surprising,
Come here.
the fact that people who work at Google, Meta, and these big tech giants are choosing to send their kids to Waldorf schools, which are schools that have pretty much tech-free environments. In most public and private schools across the nation, Chromebooks, iPads, or Windows devices are everywhere. But things look very different at the private Sacramento Waldorf School in California, where technology isn't used at all through 8th grade and is scarce even in high school.
Instead of just turning to my phone to answer questions, to ask a teacher for help or to ask a friend.
I just never really knew what it was like to play video games as opposed to running around and having fun outside.
We don't have that many screens here, but I can still use the screen really well. You don't have to be on the screen all the time to know how to use it well.
So I would whip stitch this on. I find that even in my own experience in my own life, that when I'm using a device, it divides me from those who are around me. So I find that the community experience
Oh, hey, hey, hey.
in the classroom,
Don't jump. Don't do it. Don't do it.
only from one-on-one human interaction.
I'll save you. I'm gonna save you.
Morning, Nico.
Celebrating its 100th anniversary
I saved you.
this year, the Waldorf teaching philosophy is used at more than 1,000 institutions in 91 countries, including 136 schools.
Oh my god, they have a challenge for killing people in vehicles. They encourage me to do this shit.
Its holistic instructional style, which promotes artistic expression, experiential
Hello.
learning, and yes,
I'm Dr. Copter. They're gonna get rid of the helicopter because of me.
for students at the Sacramento
Dr.
Waldorf
Copter,
schools,
baby.
screen time is highly discouraged at home too. The lower school parent handbook recommends
They call me Dr. Copter. Dr. Copter. Coming to your town. Dr. Copter.
stating none is the optimal condition for young children and
What's
less
up?
is better than
Come
more.
back.
In high school, computer use at Sacramento Waldorf School is restricted to just 6 desktops in one small lab
Oh.
and 20 MacBook Air laptops used in just a few classes. Mobile devices
I'm gonna cut you up.
brought by high schoolers
I'm gonna
who
cut
all
you up.
sign a pledge to limit use to outside the classroom.
Uh-oh, you got me.
Schools is big business, expected to hit $43 billion this year, with 46% of that growth happening in K through 12. So Apple, Google, and Microsoft may not be thrilled to know the Waldorf approach represents a growing trend
Ooh.
where low-tech education is becoming
becoming increasingly popular among parents who are apprehensive of the devices they themselves helped to invent. The private Waldorf School on the Peninsula,
Baby, a triple.
is highly sought after. 3/4 of the students' parents there have a strong high-tech connection. In fact, many big names in tech, like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, gained notoriety for the strict bounds they placed on device usage in their homes. Gates reportedly didn't let his kids get phones until age 14, and Jobs didn't let his kids use iPads. The tuition at Waldorf schools varies by grade and location. High school tuition at the Waldorf School of the Peninsula is more than $35,000, and elementary school starts just under $26,000. In Sacramento, high school is over $19,000, and elementary starts just under $13,000.
And this comment says it all. Steve Jobs goes by the slogan, "The dealer never consumes." Again, I'm not surprised that these people that have created and invented these addictive technologies and apps are sending their kids to a private school that has heavy restrictions on technology use. The sad thing is the tuition in these schools per year is very expensive. I believe they were in the 5 digits, and so only the most affluent.
No!
But working families
My
don't
kingdom.
have that luxury of
My
sending their kids to a
kingdom.
private school or charter school, which costs 5 figures a year. They send their kids to public school because it's the only option, but that option is looking weaker and weaker every year, with student test scores dropping, teachers quitting at alarming rates, and public schools getting defunded as we speak. That brings me to another comment from one of you guys on a previous video. Everything is 100% true. I'm a teacher of 20 years and it is rough. It doesn't help when our country is dismantling the Department of Education. States are oblivious to the real issues and keep pushing nonsense to schools and so forth. I wanted to ask if you saw the news video about a California school going all AI. The only teachers they have on campus, I believe, are to assist where and when is needed, but students learn from AI teachers.
This probably isn't what comes to mind when you think of an average school day. Kids breathing fire, climbing a rock wall, and even learning the art of grilling. But for students at the Alpha School in Austin, Texas, this is no field day. Here, K-12 graders are proudly cutting classes, spending just 2 hours a day learning math, science, reading, and writing, all with the help of an AI tutor and without a single teacher.
Morning launch time.
I already don't like this and I'm skeptical. How can a student possibly learn enough in 2 hours compared to a full day of school? And the fact that they don't have a teacher and are learning specifically from an AI chatbot, yeah, does not sound good.
Mackenzie Price is the co-founder of Alpha School and its 2-hour learning program.
This is a school without teachers.
We have no teachers at our schools. We have no teachers at our schools. Can you believe that?
The educators are a suite of AI-powered apps that gamify lessons, monitor progress, and with the help of eye tracking, keep tabs on students' attention span. Who's teaching you?
I think the app is teaching me, but I'm also teaching myself.
So they learn on an app, but they also think that they are teaching themselves, and they're only maybe 5 or 6 years old and don't know anything about the world yet. Does not sound promising.
All as adult guides, many of which have never been teachers, look on without interfering with their robot counterparts.
Are you comfortable having guides in the classroom that don't necessarily know the core curriculum?
It's okay that our guides aren't experts in physics or math or whatever they're doing. They are experts in their students.
It's okay that they're not experts in science or math, but they're experts in their students? What the heck does that even mean? Then what is the purpose of teachers having to go to school for years in order to get their teaching credential? I am appalled that any parent
I can see that, buddy.
send their child to the school that has no teachers. What?
It almost sounds like the guys here are told, you're here to lead the kids to AI.
Our guides are not allowed to teach. They are coaching students to become self-driven learners.
Price says the AI tutor personalizes lessons for each student, allowing them to learn class material in half the time, and according to data from Alpha, scoring the 90th percentile on standardized tests in most grade levels.
This one's a little unusual.
It all comes as students nationwide grapple with AI's role, while some critics say it's too soon to know if the tech's having a positive effect in classrooms.
Damn, I should have just shot him.
That's not suspicious at all. According to their very own data that is probably biased, the students score in the 90th percentile on standardized tests. I would like to see some independent, third-party, unbiased sources that are evaluating these students and how they're doing on their standardized tests.
One study found
Aw,
that
10th, man.
can sometimes inhibit learning if students become too reliant on the tool.
How do you make sure that the AI that is teaching kids is doing what it's supposed to be doing?
We have a lot of guardrails in place to make sure that kids are not dealing with some of the issues that come with what we hear about with AI.
Still, at Alpha, where tuition costs $40,000 a year, academics are just the beginning.
This is called our check chart.
Each student must complete a long list of tasks before they can level up, including things like run a mile without stopping, solve a Rubik's Cube,
And even independently put together a piece of IKEA furniture.
all in an effort to teach life skills and promote passion projects.
Welcome to Alp School Airbnb.
Like this group of 6th graders who are running a real Airbnb.
How old are you?
I'm 11.
You're 11. And how much money did you guys make with this Airbnb?
So we have $10,000 of confirmed bookings.
Over at Alpha High School,
You made an app. Wait, hold on.
Look for that.
16-year-olds Elle and Sloan are getting ready to pitch an AI-enabled app that gives dating advice.
I want to ask my crush out to prom in front of all of her friends. Is that a good idea?
It really depends on her personality.
So you've been learning from AI, and now you're building your own AI?
Yes.
A full circle experiment, putting these AI academics in a class of their own.
Yeah, a lot to take in there. And as a parent, I was a little sketched out seeing those little kids locked into their laptops with their headphones on. We used to have sustained silent reading back in the day. This is way beyond that because these are gamified, interactive apps, so the kids are given full attention. And Price says they only do that for 2 hours a day. They break those up into these 20-minute intervals. The rest of the day is spent in those workshops, collaborating with others, learning life skills. Actually, on the day we visited, some of the high school students were going through this rejection workshop where they would pitch strangers on the street their passion projects. AI, not so great at teaching how to get rejected, but something we humans are still pretty good at, I guess.
So they're learning how to exercise, solve a Rubik's Cube, put together IKEA furniture, and cooking, which are all things that they can just learn at home with their family. We can take a look at the comments. When they said, "Don't worry, artificial intelligence won't take jobs," they meant their jobs, not yours. Sounds like a Black Mirror episode. Unlimited screen time and babysitters with $40K a year tuition. What could go wrong? Smart kids with no social and emotional skills. As a teacher, that scares me. I also found this CNN article interesting about Alpha School. Apparently, they have applied for charter school status, and it's been rejected by several states, including Arkansas, North Carolina, Utah, South Carolina, and Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania Department of Education, in denying its application, pointed to a lack of teachers and concern about the model being largely retested. And the story also features a parent who sent 2 of her daughters to Alpha School. She said it was a chance for her older daughter, who was autistic, to
Am I dead? I think I'm dead.
like that her students could learn at their own pace.
Hi there.
And have specialized lessons. But the parent said she almost
Oh,
immediately noticed
he has a puppet.
both her daughters after they started at Alpha. Although on paper they met their academic targets, their attitude shifted from curiosity about knowledge to an extreme focus on metrics. Several parents apparently expressed their concern with how the kids-driven metrics seem to supersede learning. Some children were staying up late into the night or logging extra hours on their apps to boost their metrics, sometimes leading to anxiety and tears. And after their second year, the parent decided to withdraw her daughters and enroll them in public school, where she says she discovered the girls had fallen behind. She said that they were doing what the school wanted them to do, but in the end, it really wasn't out of joy. And she said at the end of their time at Alpha, her children had turned zombie-like. This school has got to be absolutely terrible for kids learning. And here, this person comes in who has no knowledge of education and tries to profit off of AI and charge parents $40,000 a year for an AI chatbot to teach their kids reading and math. I really agree with that comment that this is starting to feel like a Black Mirror episode, and I feel like I can't say it enough times. I sound like a broken record, but I am concerned for this next generation and what is to come. But I'm really curious to hear from all of you, especially teachers and parents. Please share your experiences down below in the comments. I would love to know what you are doing to help your kids through this schooling system, to help your kids in this changing landscape of technology, and really what actionable steps can we take to make sure our kids don't have unfettered access to the internet, and to make sure that they're learning in school and their test scores are going up and they're able to read at a proficient level. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and comment down below a dog emoji.
What's up,
so I know
fucker?
you watched the whole thing.
Come here.
I'd like to thank
my channel members,
Come
as
here.
well as my supporters.
Come here.
Oh,
you're smart. You're a smart little cookie. I gotta go. Goodbye.
All of the funds I receive from these platforms go directly into this channel and improving the content for you guys. Please know it is not required. It is absolutely optional. Just the fact
I'm on Frosty the Snowman. I'm back someday, bitch.
help to the channel. If you don't want to wait for my next upload, you can go ahead and check out this video right here on the screen. But thank you guys again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Blam, blam, blam. Oh, you made me sad. I'm taking my own life. Oh, that didn't kill me. That's embarrassing. Come here. I want to tickle you.
We're tasting Taco Bell menu items from around the world. Let's talk about that. Good mythical morning. Taco Bell is always there when you need it, wherever you are.
When you need a quick meal, when you're feeling munchy, or when you want to use it for a game to guess where international Taco Bell menu items come from.
And we did this before back in 2019, but Taco Bell continues to have one of the most interesting global menus in the fast food circuit. So, we're doing it again. It's time for...
Hey, calm down.
Where in the world do these international Taco Bell dishes come from?
Okay.
I'm just
boys,
trying to be
to guess where
radical.
these international Taco Bell menu items come from. You'll throw your darts at the map and chase the Taco Bell hop. We'll measure your darts to determine points.
He's back!
Mr. McLaughlin, Mr. Neal, welcome back. Can I help you with anything?
Oh, we use our aliases for hotels.
Oh, okay.
I almost said it.
Yeah, I don't know if I should
That
reveal
would
it.
defeat the point.
What is it?
Floor 4, please.
You got it.
Anything? No. Like what?
Yeah, like a tip, but...
Oh. Sorry, no.
Okay. Rhett won last time, so he
What?
throws first. That means Link gets an advantage, and I'll tell you about it when you're ready for it.
I will say the last time we did this, Link did win, though.
Mm-hmm.
It was a close
Or, look at
The
this
Taco
thing.
Bell one, you're saying?
The Taco Bell one. This thing is stacked to the max.
I'm gonna ruin it.
I'm assuming he did a napalm.
Oh, it's nice the way it opens up like that. That's nice.
A 3-shelf stack?
Now,
Whoa.
you tell me. Do we have this here?
He's pretty.
Have you seen this here? This is like a tortilla stack that my mama made, but keeping it hard.
Keeping it hard, Mom.
Keeping it hard, Mom.
That's what you say before you hang out with her.
Thank you for slurping excessively as you pay the taco thing.
Not really getting much of anything that I wouldn't expect in a normal one.
Right.
It's very juicy. It's very,
It's quite tasty.
there's a creaminess in there.
I don't know if we would stack 3 harbs like that here in America. Because there's a lot of stuff that could go wrong in the packaging.
It's kind of tall, too.
You know what I'm saying?
Might be open in the lid and then everything's stuck to it.
I don't know if we expect that much in America.
Now, you know how Chase said, Mr. McLaughlin and Mr. Neal, you know, that's how he welcomed you?
Yeah.
So if you remember back when we were standing in front of a hotel and Leon Bridges walked in, and Link, you said, Mr. Bridges. And we said, that makes it seem like you're a bellhop.
Are receipt paper stickers poisonous?
This hotel, and it was confusing for you. Now you see, that's the official greeting of bellhops at hotels.
Yeah, and that's when Leon just handed you his suitcase and actually.
I could have stolen his guitar. Did not do it.
Right upstairs.
You going first?
No, you're going first because you won. No, I did win.
No, yeah, right.
Yeah, you
yours.
won first.
No, yeah, he won the 2019 part 1 of this episode.
And I won because I think this is difficult to use any sort of inference.
Well, you know what?
Taco Bell just spreads itself around. You never know what you're going to get anywhere.
Maybe they're just doing this right now. In America.
In America?
in the United States.
A triple stack, a deep dish Mexican pizza.
But you do agree with me that this is a precarious packaging thing that they would screw up. Now, this looks like one that the Mitchell kitchen made. It doesn't look like when they went and got it.
Yo pienso que sí hay que trabajar eso también de la mano.
So maybe it's not the U.S. one. They just go get it.
Ahí sí que irnos con
Yes, thank you, boy. What do I call you?
Bella, Dr. Bella.
Okay.
Whatever you'd like to call me, Mr. McLaughlin.
I have no idea.
Exactly.
I doubt there's a Taco Bell in the Falkland Islands. It's got to be one in New Zealand, but a chance. Feels like, where's a place that they'll do a little bit extra? I want to say Japan, but there's no interesting flavors.
Nope.
So I think they did this in Spain. I think they did it in Spain.
And it's also the middle of the board, which now, you know, I can't go for like in New Zealand. That would be crazy.
You could. What if it's the right answer?
I think this is to the west of your dart.
Good.
No indication otherwise. Maybe this is Costa Rica, Brazil, the United States. Just a little bit. Keeping it competitive. Don't want things to get away from me. That's nice.
You just had taco pizza, the Mexican pizza's big brother. It's a triple layer of tostadas, nacho cheese sauce, seasoned ground beef, and it's topped with melted cheese, salsa, and tomatoes. It's discontinued, but you could find it at Taco Bell's in Spain.
Oh, you nailed it, and I didn't let you get away from me.
I think you may actually be closer to España.
Uh-huh.
Brett, you had 7. Link 4.
I'll take it. I don't have any cash on me. Yeah.
Nah, there wasn't.
Here, grab a side.
This looks like it's got cinnamon.
It's hot. It's too hot. It's too hot.
It's too hot. It looks like an apple turnover.
I purchased an app and it was trying to say I didn't. What the fuck?
Blintz. You know about a blintz? Yeah, Jessie makes a blintz. She doesn't have any more of them. What is coming out of that? Oh, it's hot. It came out and hurt me.
It's an apple one, man.
Yeah.
I have to just go. Have to go with my fork here.
Oh!
Is it hot?
You can't touch it with your hand. Why did you put it in your mouth?
You gotta get it moving.
You know, it's hot.
I'm too school for cool, baby.
Would you like me to blow in it for you?
Don't hit me. Oh, I hit you.
I'll also let you know
The irony. The irony.
User of today's game has to dip their toes in Doritos dust to become a Doritos Locos Tacos.
Oh, yikes.
That doesn't sound fun.
Yikes. Yikes. Okay, Link, you're up now.
So they tried to take a McDonald's apple pie thing and Taco Bellize it somewhere else.
Uh-oh.
Boy, that's inventive. Could be Japan. They will invent. If they had cheese in it, I would have been thinking Belgium.
Uh-oh, I'm getting extreme in the building
It has
now.
a pastry-like quality. But I think Japan is coming in hot. I burned my pinky.
Yep.
Where you burned?
All 10 fingers.
Roof of your mouth,
Lips.
gums, anus,
Stomach. Esophagus.
Japan is calling to me. They just like to go for it. It's big too.
Oof.
Bigger. Japan is a long way over
Uh-oh,
there.
I took your car. Uh-oh, I took your car.
I'm gonna hold back just a little bit.
Oh, come on.
Just a little bit. Oh, not that much. I didn't mean to do that. That's okay. What are you thinking?
You made your way from Mulan to Minsk. Rochelle.
Because they're not informed by anything. Like when we eat just like the dish of this country, right? There's flavors.
They're still using what comes off the Taco Bell.
Got to
ingredient
flip a
truck.
bitch.
Like the fact that was Spain in the first round was a complete lucky guess. Like
good though. It's so good. I mean, this would be a hit in America. Like, we would love this if it wasn't so hot.
Oh, hey, calm down. Hey.
You know, what are those cinnamon and sugar crunchy things that are worthless?
Oh, the twists, cinnamon twists. They're so worthless. These are so much better than the twists.
But bring this. Get rid of that.
Bring this. I feel like I would know about this if it was happening here. Is it crazy enough for Japan? I think Japan is the next best guess. Is it crazy enough?
Ooh.
I feel like I've got to go between you and Japan to make up some ground, but not completely fall further into a pit of despair, where your self-worth is now defined by losing to me.
Oh, it was not that much closer to anything except New Zealand and India, I guess.
We just had an apple chimichanga, a warm apple filling wrapped in a golden cinnamon sugar dusted tortilla that you can find at Taco Bell's in New Zealand.
Oh, that low throw helped me out. Help me out. Because, man, I went to New Zealand. I didn't eat at a Taco Bell. But, yeah, I wouldn't. Why would I?
I wouldn't do such a thing.
Both great throws. But Link, you had 52, and Red, 33.
What? Did you just make that up? Yeah.
No, I just...
Sounded like you just made it up, but I'm going to take it. You want to get the pin of the month? Well, you got to get it today. And today only at mythical.com. It's the turkey trees.
Oh, if the cockatrice were a turkey.
If the cockatrice were a turkey and not a chicken. Whatever it is.
The turkey was almost the bird of America.
Mythical.com. Get it right here. Well, get it and then have it and it'll be like that.
Is this...
Don't shoot my
is
Tim.
an egg.
Don't shoot my Tim.
The shell is an egg?
The shell is an egg.
Don't shoot my Tim. These are rare limited edition Tims. These are limb Tims. When I get older, You stinked up the place. I had to kill you. All the red smoke, stinky. I tell you, stinky. Done that again. But ooh. Damn.
The shell is an egg?
The shell is an egg.
The shell is an egg.
Hash browns, cheese, bacon. Oh my gosh.
It's just egg white, isn't it?
No, there's yolk. It's not too hot. It's got that going for it. There's the yolk. Just feel like something I could come up with.
Seems obvious, right? Now, contrary to popular belief, Taco Bell should not serve breakfast. What? I'm just repeating the results of the survey. I've never had breakfast at Taco Bell.
There was a survey.
No, have you ever had breakfast at Taco Bell?
No, because of the survey.
Right. Maybe some people have it. I don't think does anybody eat their breakfast? Or they just say they have it, but they don't actually serve it because no one eats it.
Right, they say they have it, but they don't really have it.
That's what it is. But in this other country, boy, they have it, and they've done a decent thing that if it wasn't for this metal thing, it would just be a flat piece of egg with stuff on top of it.
This is a chance taken.
They take chances in Japan. This is a taco only when held together by something else. And is that really a taco at all? If the shell doesn't hold the stuff without you holding the
Well, what
shell.
about like a street taco?
Is that even a taco?
Can you put a sealant on receipt paper that prevents the toxins from getting through?
Soft taco?
Yeah, like an LA taco.
Soft taco, not a taco. Not a taco. You heard it here. When you have to hold it together to keep it shaped,
Put that on the survey.
not a taco.
Okay,
Didn't get a spend today.
When archaeologists unearth this house, they will find evidence of the British public being flooded. Here it is, introducing a pink brick to an otherwise red one. Now, I didn't notice that because we were building the wall from the other side. It wasn't until we got up to there that we spotted it, which means it's embedded forever. And if it was you who did this, I hate you.
I believe you for approximately 90 seconds.
I feel like this is Japan because it's inventive, it's taking chances left and right. I feel like when they did the breakfast in America, which I don't know if they still do, or if it was ever a real thing, it could have just been a fake thing, like Link said. I don't remember this being part of it.
I'm up by 16. Now go all the way over
14.
now.
16? 16.
If you believe in that answer, go all the way over.
You still have a cheat code.
Yep.
It's up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, BA, start. Select start. I'm gonna go strong in situation. And if I blow the whole game here, so be it.
Wait, is it Japan? They're not adding anything that wouldn't be in just a normal
Turret.
breakfast anywhere in the world.
Turret ATV, baby. Turret ATV.
What?
Turret ATV. It's not cheating. It's part of the game, baby.
Advantage. 16 centimeters
Well done.
high. I am not going to use it.
Really?
South Africa, Brazil, Costa Rica. Nobody's as fun as Japan. Taking something that
Turret ATV.
work as a shell and then using it. Yeah, it's Japan. So now I'm gonna get closer to
Hold on,
Japan.
you're that easily convinced.
What?
You're that easily convinced.
I was convinced by my own rationale.
Ooh, no, my turret ATV.
Nothing you said.
How dare you?
I see nowhere else. Matter of fact, that's an ugly map. Taco Bell should not go into making maps. Well, I would not buy that map if they were selling it. They didn't. That's an ugly map.
What you like about it? It's purple. It's beautiful.
It's ugly. It's ugly. Japan. I
but I accidentally said naked. Which is a breakfast taco where the tortilla has been replaced by an egg. It's discontinued in the United States.
No! What?
You tell me.
Made one. They put it on a poster.
It's a myth.
They put it in the window.
It's a myth.
Nobody ordered it.
Did anyone have this?
Never made.
Did anyone have this?
Nobody
Did anyone
raising their
see it?
hands. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Sorry, boys, but I'm still having a Baja Blast. Rhett, you had 69.
Hey!
And Link, you had 68.
Oh, I beat you.
Yeah, by one.
Watch out. This is a mystery round. No country labeled on the map.
Oh, come on.
A little donut covered in chocolate with a surprise in the middle. I'm gonna find the surprise with my mouth.
I'm gonna find a surprise with my fingers. Is that snow in there? It's a snowball, right? Like cake.
It's so moist.
It's a cake ball. It's great.
I know that Mythical Kitchen made this because I don't think they can make something this good.
Well, we don't order the stuff from around the world. We replicate it.
I know, but I'm just saying. Sometimes you can be lulled into thinking that they went to a Taco Bell.
What Red's saying is that this is so good, Taco Bell.
It's so moist.
It's a cake pop without the stick. There's something in the middle.
What is that? What a nice layup.
Chocolate. Just chocolate.
Uh-oh.
It's good, though.
I believe it's just chocolate.
Oh, this is gonna hurt a lot.
I mean, y'all really nailed it. After that one hot round,
Is that it?
You are
gonna be feeling that for weeks.
We sent notes to the kitchen.
You are winning, so you have to go first. And I'm warning you, I'm gonna use my advantage dart.
So I have to like make a strong guess because you're gonna have a splatter like that they've never seen before.
And what is my advantage?
The Gordy dart. It's coming back. And so
Yes.
wherever the sauce lands.
Oh, that is a saucy gordita.
And look at that. I've got
Oh, extra saucy now. So I have to assume that you're gonna get a 0.
Oh.
That's right, Red.
I have to assume you're gonna get a 0. And in this game, a 0 is great.
Look at there.
The bellboy has put plastic down.
Look at there. Look at that.
Do you prefer boy or hop?
Whatever you prefer, Mr. McLaughlin.
Look at that.
I'll hop for you.
Look at that.
He doesn't have any cash on him either.
Anything else while I'm here?
When I say bellhop, he says how high. Stop. That was
I'm touching the drums at.
I like it.
That was dumb. Okay.
This will be nice.
From a statistical
I'm touching the drums at you can't stop me.
Dinner.
My leg!
Yep. A little sweet thing to eat after dinner.
Well, that's what it was for us.
I guess a dessert.
The last thing I'm
thinking about. I guess that would be a nice dessert.
Statistically speaking, these usually come from Asia or Europe, just because there's more countries over there. It's just, to
You
me,
know how South America loves their cake pops.
to me, what it screams is this is something they're doing in the U.S. in general, like donuts with chocolate and chocolate covered.
You got me, I melted.
From the U.S., let's do it here in somewhere in Asia.
Somewhere in Asia.
So I'm only 15 ahead. I gotta be pretty close. I do think South Korea is a great guess, but I think that if I basically get
I'm a
somewhere
sneaky
between
Pete.
like Indonesia and South Korea, I have a chance here. I have a chance. Oh, that was a little bit too low, but maybe it's okay.
I got some ground to make up here. I like where he's landed.
Yeah, I didn't get close enough to.
I'm gonna have to take this off.
Like some
Yes. I don't have any cash on me though.
We do have your credit card on file. If
Oh,
you'd like
okay.
to just tip
Oh,
digitally.
I wasn't saying for that reason, but
No, yeah, of course.
just so you don't rob me.
No,
I feel like you're gonna rob me.
What time is checkout?
That's nice. I think this is a,
Coca-Cola. Yippee! 6th place, baby. Catch me in ranked. How about that? How about that? I'm already ranked. I got nothing to lose, man. I got nothing to lose. I'm walking on sunshine. Good game. Uh-oh. I did not know that's what was happening.
South American Taco Bell donut. But this thing, I mean, I'm keeping it in this so that all of the stuff can fly that direction. The paper will be like a shield to direct it. And I'm gonna give it a nice little whip so that it goes across the whole board. I've actually gotten pretty good at using the advantage darts. Yeah. Because I've had so many. So I'm gonna try to get a little bit over there where red is, but then also get to South America. Whoops, that came up short. And are you dirty?
Oh, 5 more times.
Wow, because look, it really went. It slid off of.
Wow, you went high and right.
Boy, can you pick up my paper?
Oh, of course. Yes.
The paper's back here.
Well, the good news is,
I shouldn't have done it on the paper.
But look, Link, you have splatters in South America.
Yes.
And you have splatters. You have splatters on every continent.
I did. My boy has splattered on every continent. I actually did great, even though I didn't do what I wanted to do. Wow, that was awesome. I think. Okay.
You just had a Choco Ball, a dessert filled with chocolate and cream that you can find at Taco Bell's in Portugal.
Oh, you did.
Oh, that's not in South
I should have gone to Europe. That would have done it.
You gotta choose Europe or Asia every time. Yeah, I made the wrong choice. Feeling like a winner today.
Oh, you have a splatter in Portugal. I can see it from here.
Link, you have a splatter in Portugal, which I can see here. And Rhett, you had 45.
Ooh, get those toes ready, Rhett. We're gonna put them in Dorito dust.
Right now?
No, I can have more. But I mean, that happens in like a second.
Nation's report card shows America's high school seniors have the worst math and reading scores in more than 2 decades.
And she says, well, you know, people normally tip. Y'all have gone too far with this tipping culture, period.
If you guys thought that was bad, look at this. 30% on the low end.
This place, workers say they don't see a cent of the tips. You get these tips? You don't get no real.
So if you're like most people, you probably feel like tipping culture in the US has gotten very out of hand. And this video is a bit of a follow-up to my restaurant video. On that video, I got so many comments from all of you talking about your disdain with tipping culture and how these tip screens are being shoved in our faces at every turn, and we don't even know where we're supposed to be tipping anymore. It just feels like everyone is asking for a tip. And it's putting pressure on us as the consumer to tip in places where we've never tipped before. And I do want to say, I'm not talking about restaurant workers and servers. In many states of the US, these folks typically make about $2.13 an hour, which is called the tipped minimum wage. And they're paid that much because their employers know that their tips will make up for the difference. And often so, they make up for much more than the difference. But we will be talking about how tip props are popping up left and right, everywhere, places that they should be, and how the onus is essentially being put on the customer to pay the employee's wages. Or I should say, supplement the employee's wages.
The payment platform Square says 5 years ago, we shell out about 16% in tips. Last year, that jumps to 20%. Are you a big tipper?
I am a moderate tipper.
Mike Von Masso studies the economy of food and tipping. He's a professor at the University of Guelph.
Tipping is a social norm. It is something that everybody does. It is an expectation.
But it does feel like something has changed.
Yeah, I think we've seen an evolution in tipping culture creeping up, but in the last 4 or 5 years, probably since the pandemic, we've really seen a dynamic shift. When restaurants were shut down, we were worried about them surviving, so many of us tipped much higher because we're trying to keep these people afloat. And I think many organizations said, oh, people are tipping more, we'll do it more.
It's not just sit-down restaurants. Check out all the tip prompts popping up at fast food places, including coffee shops, and mall food courts, big chains, and independent shops. Debit, please. At almost 2/3 of the fast food places we visit, the terminal asks us if we want a tip. Most recommend between 10 and 20%.
Pop them.
At a few, up to 30%.
Pop them. No.
Fast food restaurants asking for tips. Where did this come from?
There's more price pressure to keep price down, and there's more wage pressure to pay people more. So ask people for tips in a way that gives our staff a higher wage without us actually having to pay a higher wage.
Back on hidden camera, we also noticed some inconsistencies. One coffee shop asks for a tip, another doesn't. One sandwich shop has a prompt, the next, nothing.
It's making us, I would say, more uncomfortable because it's gone outside of the social norm. This inconsistency is also contributing to the discomfort that many of us feel.
So that clip actually comes from CBC, which is a Canadian broadcasting channel. However, the tipping culture in Canada and the US is very similar, so I feel that it's relevant, and I think that clip has a lot of great information. It's a 20-minute long video that's on YouTube, and I'll link it below in the description box if you want to watch the whole thing. The story goes on to share that there is definitely psychology behind what's called tip creep or tip shame. For one, we're being asked to tip in more places where a tip is typically not customary, and two, we're being asked in a more direct manner. A lot of you probably remember that tipping used to be just a small little innocent tip jar near the cash register where you could go ahead and put $1 or $2 in. But now we are confronted with the iPad as soon as we finish a transaction, and it just feels a lot more in your face. Meanwhile, the employee stares you down, and all the patrons in line behind you silently judge you based on the tip you're going to leave. No doubt about it, there is definitely a lot of social pressure and guilt tripping happening in these situations.
Tipping is out of control, and it's gotten so bad that many people in the United States have stopped tipping altogether. Oh, stick around because this story is crazy. Because in the United States, tipping has turned into a financial form of emotional blackmail, perpetuated by larger and larger companies that have no business even asking for tips, but they all want to get in on this cash grab. Because believe it or not, companies like Walmart have even been test pilots with requests for tips at self-checkout kiosks.
Oh, now I kill somebody?
Like no one's even doing work to be tipped. You and your own stuff. You are doing all of the work, and then Walmart asks you to give them money for the pleasure of doing all of that. But despite its negative connotation, there's a reason that tipping took off in the 1800s. Because in 1863, a major change to the American economy made tipping the perfect loophole for businesses to continue saving on labor and avoid change. Because when the 13th Amendment was passed, millions of former slaves entered the workforce, where opportunities were scarce to begin with, and former slave owners and their associates who didn't pay these people during the age of slavery weren't about to start paying them fairly now. So in an effort to quietly continue the practice of slavery, many institutions and businesses hired former slaves with ridiculously low wages plus the opportunity to accept tips. And this practice grew in popularity in the South until pretty soon the entire service industry jumped on the bandwagon as businesses saw an opportunity to normalize extremely low wages for low-level positions with the expectation that the difference in these very low wages would be subsidized by you, the consumer, in the form of tips. And that tradition stuck. It's spread. And flash forward a few hundred years. Now when we all go out to eat, we all know that our waiter or waitress isn't being paid well by their employer, and it's up to us to make sure that they get it. It's up to us as patrons to make sure the financial
Those don't even move, bro. They're just standing still and fucking get hit with bullets.
Service and you actually see somebody spit into your food, you're gonna tip them. And that practice can be traced all the way back to the South. And we've all been conditioned to pay into the system. And now that it's a habit that's been ingrained for generations,
like 2 or 3
more big businesses are tapping into Americans' tendency to leave tips, asking for tips when there is zero reason to leave one. I personally have been asked to tip for buying a bottle of water from my local sandwich shop. Like, that's the only thing I bought. I bought a bottle of bottled water, the guy reached behind him, handed it to me, and then spun the little iPad around to ask me a couple of questions. What are we doing here?
Coming around to the right.
Everyone is asking for tips for every service that's rendered in our economy. It's becoming really easy to just not tip because Americans are officially in a state of max tip fatigue. And as more people move away from tipping, it hurts the people who need tips the most. The people waiting tables who are getting paid less than their wage by their employer.
Now we're going to look at some clips from people who are frustrated, and rightfully so, because they're being asked to tip at places where we don't customarily tip. This ranges from fast food, drive-thrus, self-service kiosks, ice cream shops, and even auto repair shops.
Did I miss something? Because I'm completely confused. So I just go to Dairy Queen to get an ice cream and a blizzard
I'm firing on them. I'm hitting them.
So my total was $7.68.
I have no
So I gave the lady $8 in cash. So she takes my $8 and she says, a minute later she comes back to the window, do you really want your 32 cents?
A bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And I looked a little confused. I said, yes. So she kind of got an attitude. Okay. So she closes the window. So I'm sitting here like,
got one down.
Why would I not want my change? I'm just a little confused. So she comes back and she's going to give me the 32 cents. And I'm like, do people not normally want their change? Because I'm confused by what just happened.
Whoop. That's new.
And she says, well, you know, people normally tip.
Oh,
At Dairy Queen?
What is going on with this tipping culture? I fully understand tipping when I am getting a service done outside of their normal job. Like if I'm ordering groceries, if I am going to a restaurant and they are serving me my food, if I'm at, you know, wherever that they do not make a full salary. What the hell am I tipping you for? You're already getting paid to work at Dairy Queen. So what am I tipping you more for? I am confused. So now she has an attitude because I want my 32 cents in change. Absolutely, I want my 32 cents. Y'all have gone too far with this tipping culture, period.
Someone commented, if it pisses me off, it's either a donation or a tip everywhere you go. Everywhere. And now I have to hit no tip right in front of you on the screen while you're watching me. Who came up with this system? Tips should be for wait staff that make under minimum wage, hairstylists, beauty industry workers, and tattoo artists. But it should also be earned and not expected and not always a given. It's also baffling that these fast food workers are confronting customers about not getting tips. That is the quickest way to not get a tip. I worked in the service industry in the past, and I was trained to always give the patron back their change, and if they want to tip you, they can give it to you themselves. It's most definitely rude to ask the customer if they want their change back, and it's even worse to confront them and ask them if they're going to give you a tip. What's even crazier to me is typically at fast food drive-thrus, when you order, you go to the first window and pay, and then you go to a second window where you get your food. So theoretically, if this lady did want to leave a tip, she would be leaving the tip before she even got her food or got served in any way. So traditionally where tipping occurs, you go to a restaurant and your server gets you drinks, gets you food, serves you, and if they did a great job, then you would give them a tip at the end. And the tip incentivizes your server to give you good service, to take care of you, to refill your drinks, to make sure your food's out on time. But in this situation, none of those factors applied. She did not receive the service yet, and the worker is paid already a wage by their employer. Unlike a restaurant server who is typically paid $2 an hour and also gets tipped at the end of the experience instead of at the start.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but tipping culture is out of control and we need to do something about it. I was at a bar the other night and the door guy asked me for a tip on my cover charge. Like the $10 you pay to get into the bar, I put it on my debit card, and then he slides me the iPad and is like, tips are appreciated. And it was auto set to 20, 22, and 25% tip on a cover charge. And like, listen, I get this guy makes no money, right? So if I were him, I'd probably be asking for tips too. But as a consumer, I cannot afford a 20% surcharge on every single aspect of my experience when I leave my house. Like if I'm expected to individually tip every single employee at a bar or restaurant, then I just can't go there. And if enough people start feeling that way, and I kind of, whenever I complain about this, people agree, so I think we're getting there. It's like, that's how local economies tank, actually. That's how bars and restaurants go under, because like, I just can't afford, and the other thing too, and I say this as a former bartender, former server, former Uber Lyft driver, and former Uber Eats driver, so like, I understand the importance of tips. Gen Z won't remember this, but like, this idea that everyone deserves 20% for every
actually. When I was growing up, servers got 20% because they make $2 an hour. Everyone else, $1 a drink, basically. Baristas, $1 a drink. Bartenders, $1 a drink. And when I bartended, I would get $1 a drink and still make more tips than most of the servers. Like, taxi drivers, $5, but it wasn't 20% of the fare. Hairdressers, $10 something, you know what I mean? But it's like, now it's just 20%. It's crazy. And I know that no one's making money, so I don't want to, like, not tip, but at the same time, like, I don't know, I can't afford any of this. And I don't know what we do.
Someone commented, when I bought my wedding dress, there was a section for a tip. That is when I knew this was out of control. Why am I paying you a tip on top of my wedding dress? And the creator commented, I used to sell wedding dresses. The commission on the dress? That's the tip. Last time I flew, the self-checkout kiosk asked if I wanted to tip. Tip who? As a bartender, tipping and subscriptions have gotten out of control. I'm actually losing my ability to discern what jobs deserve a tip or not anymore, and what subscriptions make sense. And I would argue that's exactly what these companies want. They want us to be confused about where we should tip and where we shouldn't. With tip screens popping up left and right, literally everywhere we go, they want us to think, oh, should I actually be tipping here? Is this what everyone else is doing? And then leave a tip. The company likes it because then they don't have to pay their workers as much, and then the employees like it because their income is supplemented, and often servers don't even declare all their tips on their tax returns, especially the ones they receive in cash. You used to work in service, you've seen it all. I would say they're using the fact that we can't even discern where to tip anymore to their advantage. It's not really tipping culture at this point. It's the companies hiring people as tipped workers to pay them less and increase profits. My hairstylist charges $175 for a haircut. When I tip, they asked me if I wanted to tip the stylist assistant too. I told them the stylist could choose to share the tip if she wants. I will continue to tip certain industries that I feel deserve it, but it's true every single person is asking for tips now. Why is the mechanic asking for a tip? A good review should be your tip.
At the risk of being called broke, I gotta ask. Can we all admit that this tipping has gotten out of control? And don't get me wrong, restaurants, I get it. Waitresses, waiters, I know y'all only making about 45 cents an hour. And that's crazy. So I get it. The minimum I tip is about 15%. But if I'm placing an order online for some food, and you're making me pay online, like there's no option for me to pay at pickup. Don't ask me for food. I ain't even seen the food yet. I haven't even seen the food. I don't know what's going on with the food. I could get there and it looked like trash. And I've already tipped 20%. You got to be kidding. What? And not to mention you folks that be providing services. I just seen this video. This girl went to go get a massage. They asked her to pay for the massage before she got the massage. And then asked for a tip before she got the massage. And then got mad because she tipped like 10%. What? That's crazy. Let me on y'all's mental. Why not just increase your, if you want the tip that bad, increase your prices.
Someone commented, had garage door repaired. Repairman P screen asked for a tip. Isn't that your job? I got my windshield replaced and I was thinking, should I tip? They had the option, but I thought that was weird.
I'm not sure what just happened, but I went into a sandwich shop and I went up to the window, ordered the sandwich I wanted, which was a pre-built menu. It wasn't like I went down the line and you built the sandwich for me in front of me. I ordered and I got a drink and I went to pay for it, which I picked up at a different window. And I went to go pay and I pressed no on a tip and the transaction went through and she said, you didn't tip me. I said, I know. I know. And I was very kind, very polite. Right? She said, well, why not? And I said, well, I ordered a sandwich and I'm getting it to go. There was, I didn't feel like there was a tip needed. She goes, well, everybody tips us. And she goes, we're making your sandwich for you. And I said, isn't that what your hourly wage is for? And I guess I was like dumbfounded just a little bit, and I still feel like I'm in shock and speechless just a little bit. But I am all for tips where it's deserved. Bartenders, servers, waitresses, your hairstylist sometimes, and however that works, and you're part of the, if it's built or you go to a whatever. I am all for leaving a tip when it's a service job that you have given me a service for and an appropriate tip. But all I did was
before I drive away. Someone commented, tipping culture needs to end. I'm done paying wages for business owners. I'm so sick of tipping for people doing bare minimum or nothing at all culture. I'm a server and I will not be tipping for fast food. Tipping is for full service wait staff. That's all. No matter what, the sandwich maker should not have confronted you. Tipping fatigue. Enough is enough.
Can we just talk about tipping for a second? Because I fear we might have taken this too far in some cases. Like the experience that I had today. And before you
come here. Oh, come here. Oh, no.
I tip 20% if I've just had a normal experience. I try to tip more if I've had a really good experience. However, so I always tip. I'm here for the tipping. But this that happened today, I was like, so Ralph and I went out to eat at this restaurant in Austin, and you walk in, nobody greets you. There's just a sign that says seat yourself. So we're like, okay. So we seat ourselves. And when you sit down, there's a QR code that says scan the QR code, order online. Not my favorite way to dine. I don't love the QR code situation because you're like, but fine, I'm fine with it. I'm not going to complain about it. I swear it's always the restaurants that have the QR codes and the order online situation that don't have a single bar of service in the building and you're just sitting there waiting for it to load for 15 minutes. Anyways, alas, we pick what we want, we place our order. We haven't interacted with a single human being in this restaurant yet, but as we're placing our order for our $20 salad, it's like, would you like to leave a tip? And there's 3 options. 20%, 25%, and 30%. And I'm like, girl, I haven't interacted with a single person in here. I haven't had, there's been negative service. I have been the service. Like, I've been like doing everything myself. And then it's like tip 30%. On a $20 salad that's already ridiculously overpriced for lettuce, I'm like, you want 30%? Keep in mind too, there's like a little station that's like, serve yourself water. Like, you do not interact with a human being except for after you've placed your order and left your 20 or 30% tip. Someone walks out with a tray 10 feet from the kitchen and goes, salad, and sets it down on your table and then walks away. And then you're like, yay, and then you eat it, and then you bus your own table. I'm like, how isn't the whole purpose of tipping to be when you've had, to show gratuity when you've had a really good experience or really good service? Isn't that the whole point of tipping? I'm like, I swear it's like, and it's especially in Austin, it's like these restaurants I go to, it's like you seat yourself, you order yourself, you bus yourself, you get your own water, and then it's like, tip us 30%.
Yo, you're my little princess. We're going on a journey.
I haven't even looked at a human being in the eye since I've sat down here, and you're like, you want to tip me 28%? I don't know. Tipping, but what?
Something else I wanted to touch on is how it seems like they're changing these tip prompts on the iPads to really maximize their tips. For one, it used to start at a lower percentage, maybe 18%. Now they're starting at higher percentages, maybe 20%. I've even seen some places 25%. So these companies are really doing as much as they can to get as much tip from the customer that they can. Another thing they're doing is they're making the customized tip and the no tip button harder to find. And what this is doing is it's creating more friction for us as customers to click custom tip and go in and actually put the exact tip we want. And so what we do instead is we just click one of the pre-populated options because it's easier.
Here in America, you can see all the 3 options for tipping. 20% used to be the high end, 18% was okay service, and 15% was just, your baseline. But now they want 25%, which if you guys thought that was bad, look at this. 30% on the low end, mid-range 40% tip, and then 50% tip. These people are trying to charge us an extra half of the original price as tip. Now, this tipping culture is getting out of hand. Look, I'm all for tipping, except maybe when I'm going to pick up at a store. If I'm not sitting down in that store, I don't think there's anything to tip. Yeah, if you're sitting down at a store or you're getting food delivered to you, yeah, it's good to tip. Back in the day, 12 to 15% used to be like a really good tip. Now it's looking like you don't even have that option in some stores. Look at this. These restaurant owners are getting richer and richer while we as the customers, we have to pay the employees' salary. These corporations need to pay their employees a better salary, and they should stop tripping us into paying salaries for them. What do you guys think of this crazy rise in tipping prices or tipping percentages at the moment?
This is actually crazy. I've personally never seen a minimum of 30% going up to 50%. That is outrageous. But I have been noticing the tip percentages creeping up. The other day I was at a comedy club, and typically these venues have a 2-item minimum, so after I had ordered my items, I went to pay at the end of the show. And although I don't recall exactly what all the tip recommendations were, I do know that the lowest one was 20%. And that's fine. I'm fine with tipping 20%, especially because I did have good service, but I have been noticing those percentages creeping up. Now here's the part that really surprised me. A lot of times when we leave a tip on an iPad, we assume that it's going to the person standing in front of us who may have helped us. But unfortunately, that's often not the case, and employees either only get a
You guys got
portion
this.
of those tips, or all of them go to the owners or the company.
2 more spots and it qualifies for ranked. Nice. What? He should have been dead. Cool. One more squad.
Tipping feels so shady in so many circumstances. Because unless you can put hard cash into the fiscal...
Nice. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, you're good. Disqualifies for ranked. Nice. Parkour. Damn. That was a good one, though. Making me watch the end of the match for some reason.
into the fiscal hand of the person who helped you. There's no knowing whether or not that money is actually going to make it to them. If you tip on a digital screen, you have no idea whether or not the business itself is just taking that money for themselves. Just like Amazon got caught doing back in 2015. Almost a decade ago, Amazon had a program called Flex that allowed customers to leave tips for their drivers, and everybody loves their Amazon drivers. So people tipped, and they tipped generously. But those drivers didn't get the money because Amazon asked for those tips through their app, and the drivers had no way of knowing they were getting tipped in the first place. And Amazon kept $62 million that was intended for drivers, and they just used it for themselves. So when you're at your local restaurant, your favorite server gives you your food, and they flip the little screen around and ask you a few questions, there's no way of knowing whether or not that person is actually getting the money you intend for them, unless you have physical cash. And all of this is why Americans are abandoning tipping.
This place, workers say they don't see a cent of the tips. You get these tips? You don't get your tip. We hear it's happening at big chains, too.
If I leave a tip, do you get this tip? You don't get it. Oh, you know who gets it? If I leave you a tip, do you get this tip? No? Do you know who gets it?
At least 2 employees at 6 different restaurants tell us they don't get their tips. We're not naming those restaurants in an effort not to identify the employees we speak with. In response, 2 of those restaurants tell us employees should be getting tips and they're investigating further. 2 say their employees are misinformed, although 1 admits to using tips to pay some business expenses, although they say they won't anymore. 2 don't respond.
So there's absolutely nothing shady going on there. Someone commented, "That's why I never add tips in my bill. Always give it cash to the server because I'm not sure if they get their tips at all. I always ask the employee. I will personally hand it to them. I learned this about Subway and stopped tipping. Employees are misinformed. I think they'd know if they got tips more than anyone else. Learning this is pretty upsetting because if I want to tip someone, I want it to be the person in front of me that's been helping me. So if you want to tip a worker anywhere, but I would say most definitely at places where tips are not customarily accepted, I would most definitely tip in cash to ensure that the employee in front of you who is helping you gets the tip. The other thing I wanted to touch on is both Trump and Harris in their campaign promises saying no tax on tips. And regardless of what side of the political spectrum you're on, no tax on tips sounds great in theory, but of course is not great in practice. So when we see speech videos of Trump saying no tax on tips and everyone starts cheering, it's easy to assume that means no tax on all tips, and this is going to be an indefinite thing.
No tax on tips. No tax. So if you're a restaurant worker, a server, a valet, a bellhop.
When in reality, there are caveats, and it's only the first $25,000 of your tips, and this will end in 2028.
Since most of the people that support the big beautiful bill always bring up the no tax on tips thing as like a huge thing, let's look at what the bill actually says. Okay, so first off, it's not just a page that says no tax on tips at the end. It starts on page 274, and it's section 70201. And it doesn't end until page 284, meaning it's 10 pages of provisions. Okay, so to start off, it is capped at $25,000. And I know that sounds like a lot, but that averages out to less than $100 a day if you work 5 days a week all year. Anything above that cannot be deducted. So the businesses that this applies to are businesses that are traditionally tip service businesses. And the only occupations that are specifically laid out are if you provide, deliver, or serve food or beverages for consumption, and if you do healthcare in barbering, hair care, nail care, aesthetics, body and spa treatments. Anything else, they have 90 days to make a list of what else applies. So if your occupation is not on here and you're counting on no tax on tips, you better hope to God your occupation ends up on that list. Oh, and also, if your business is considering converting to a tips-based scale, you would have had to do it before December 31st. So anything that converts to tip-based pay at this point won't qualify for these deductions. And this part right here says that it only applies if the tips are paid voluntarily. So if you work at a place that does auto gratuity, that's not going to be deductible. And you're required to put your social security number on your tax return. So if you don't have a social security number, you will not be eligible for the no tax on tips. And if you're married, you can only deduct the no tax on tips if you file jointly. So if you file individually, not eligible. And there's a bunch of stuff in here about the secretary gets to make more regulations classifying what does or does not count as qualified tips. And here's the part about how 2028 is the last year that these deductions apply. After that, it's just over. So that's basically what it says. I'm sure this is going to help some people out, but not as many as you really think.
Someone commented the equivalent of being handed a $5 bill and then punched directly in the face, waiting for the exec bonuses to be classified as tips. And it ends in 2028? I hadn't heard that. Hilarious. Usual bait and switch. They're trying to figure out how much people are actually making. The expiry date is both when they think they'll have enough data and when they think a different party might be in power, so they can try to blame shift. Another thing this provision is doing is just encouraging more tipping culture and more tip-based pay, since employees don't have to pay taxes on tips. So if you weren't yet exhausted by the iPad being shoved in your face, you will be faced. And honestly, at the rate things are going, it feels like tipping culture is getting more and more unhinged. So here's a parody of what the future might look like.
That'll be $5.50. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you only tipped for like table service and stuff. Well, you see, the company doesn't pay them enough, so they rely on tips.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sure. Is 20% enough? Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thanks, you too.
Excuse me. You forgot something.
Did I?
Yeah.
comment down below a dog emoji so I know you watched the whole thing. And if you don't want to wait for my next upload, you can go ahead and click this video right here on the screen. But thank you guys.
Lucy, I'm home.
Bye.
Oh shit. They don't want me to experience happiness. God damn it. I'm just trying to get this into the house. But no. Wait, maybe back up. Who's your daddy? Jesus. We got this. We got this. Uh-oh. I got him. Oh, what? It sounded like the four-wheeler killed him. Damn it.
On the menu at Erewhon, see if it's actually worth it at its price point. Erewhon is not only LA's most viral grocery store, it's also the most expensive.
We're at the most.
According to a report from Kelley Blue Book, the average price for a new vehicle has cracked the $50,000 mark for the first time ever.
I seriously need to know why all these old, faded headlight used cars are like over $9,000.
They're literally building these cars so that you throw them away when they break. Literally, just throw them away when they break. Don't replace it, don't fix it, just throw it away.
It's your car payment, and what do you drive?
Just short of $2,700 a month. But every morning I have to decide if I'm going to drive the Premier or the Ford Competition Expedition.
It's official. Car dealers are struggling to sell their inventory, and consumers are not putting up with the increased prices. According to this November insight from Cox Automotive, looking at mainstream brands, recent inventory trends reveal that some manufacturers may be edging toward overstock territory as consumer demand shifts. Jeep's situation is even more pronounced, with a 24% jump in day supply and a 13% increase in inventory, driven by models like the Cherokee, Compass, and Wrangler, putting the brand at a high watermark for 2025 and close to having more vehicles than the market might absorb. And you know what? I'm not surprised to hear that about Jeep. Those vehicles are notoriously unreliable, and there are way better choices in this market, such as Toyotas or Hondas, or those more reliable cars that will go for hundreds of thousands of miles. The bottom line is automakers are walking a fine line, and rising inventories can quickly shift from strategic flexibility to a liability if stock outpaces sales momentum. I'm always asking myself, how are people affording these cars that I'm seeing on the road? I see $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 cars on the road all the time, and I just wonder, how are people affording it? I know a lot of these people are in debt, but in this economy, truly, we can't afford it. We have other things to be worrying about. We have other things to be spending our money on, so it's really no surprise that these car dealers are having trouble selling their vehicles.
Economy tonight and are reporting on the prices you're paying for everything. Tonight here, the cost of a new car. What our reporter discovered on the car lot, the average price of a new vehicle in this country, and what's driving this. Here's Matt Rivers.
Tonight, it's never been more expensive to buy a new car. According to a report from Kelley Blue Book, the average price for a new vehicle has cracked the $50,000 mark for the first time ever.
That's shocking.
I think it's obscene.
And that's just what people paid. The average asking price, the MSRP for 2026 models, is even higher, more than $52,000. Talk about sticker shock. The study's authors writing, it was only a matter of time, especially when you consider the best-selling vehicle in America is a pickup truck from Ford that routinely costs north of $65,000. The report says the average price for a new Tesla is $54,138. Tonight, economists say tariffs on autos and key auto parts are a factor. Also factors a rush to buy electric vehicles before tax breaks expire in September because of President Trump's big, beautiful bill that eliminates them. And lastly, experts say the families that can afford new cars are often the ones who can afford expensive cars, driving that average cost higher.
Just the fact that sales are being shifted towards more luxury and higher-end vehicles is similar to this situation we're seeing just about everywhere in the economy.
And experts say consumers looking to used cars to save money are also out of luck.
When I looked up the cost of a 2021 Nissan Sentra versus a brand new one, the cost difference is roughly $1,000. So what is the better value?
And David, it's really interesting that electric vehicle sales are also driving some of this, driving up the average price of a car. There was a real race to go out and get them before those tax credits expired. Many families rushing out to get theirs.
I'm still in shock that the average cost of a new vehicle is $50,000. That is mind-boggling to me, especially considering the fact that the median salary in the U.S. is $65,000. So you go to work just to pay for the car that you drive to work in, and then you still have to pay repairs, insurance, gas, on top of all of that. That $50,000 is just the price. Make it make sense. Someone commented, rent an apartment, lease a car. The new American dream. Boomers had it easy. China has cars for $15K and they're better. Top 3 reasons: corporate greed, and tariffs.
Keys are on the desk, Bronco still out front. Why?
I think we need to put it on the rocks. Show how well that lift is.
That's why you think the Bronco hasn't sold yet?
Yeah, I think it needs to be put up on the rocks and highlighted.
Let me show you guys, you tell me why it hasn't sold yet. I got this Bronco about a month ago and it still hasn't sold yet. I mean, look at these rims and these wheels we put on it. Is that why it hasn't sold yet? It's even in Marsh Gray. That's the color that everybody wants. Is that why it hasn't sold yet? I even upgraded the seats to catskin leather. Is that why it hasn't sold yet? We listened to the comments and put a lift kit on it. Is that why it hasn't sold yet? It's the base model. That means it's the most affordable trim. Is that why it hasn't sold yet? The spare even has the fuel rims and the 37-inch tire. Maybe that's why it hasn't sold yet. It's got the hard top. They didn't even want the soft top. That's why it hasn't sold yet. Put the Luger sticker on the back. Hey, my dad changed the plate frame while I was in service. Wow, what I do. Is that why it hasn't sold yet? This is like the sickest Bronco in PA. I can't think of any reasons of why this hasn't sold yet. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and to get a value on your vehicle, head over to my page and hit sell your car today. And be sure to follow Dante Luther for more Broncos like this.
Spoken like a true car salesman, people were commenting, maybe the price is why it hasn't sold yet. It's overpriced in base model. $3,000 in lift, wheels, and tires, but marked up $10,000 because it's custom. It's the obnoxiously high price for a terrible vehicle. Maybe because it's a base Bronco listed for $56,000. So I went to the Ford website because I was curious how much Broncos go for, and it looks like they start at $40,000. Of course, they talk about all the bells and whistles, the lift, the hard top, the rims, the tires, the color, but no mention of the price. And this salesman can't think of one reason why this hasn't sold yet. It always is the price. It's too expensive, you're asking too much money, and nobody can afford it.
This is a 99 Toyota Corolla. This thing only has 112,000 miles on it. I stopped because I saw it. Because I saw the window sticker right there. I thought that said $595. I thought it was back in the year 2005. It says $5,000. Oh wait, that's $6,000. $6,000. Like, huh? Yeah. We're charging $6,000. The headliner's falling down. The hood's been repainted. Like, really not good. Like, got a little rust going on over there. Since when are the $500 cars $6,000? I'm sorry, I was being confused. That was the on sale price. That's the retail price. This is a 1999 Toyota Corolla. I wagered a bet. That's what this car cost new, or close to it. Wow. I wonder how much